My name is Stacey and this is the Heartmoor podcast. It has been a while, so thank you very much if you are a returning viewer and you've stuck with me, and a big welcome if you are a new viewer or you're watching me for the first time. My name is Stacey and I live in the southwest of England in Devon with my husband and my 3 daughters. And this is primarily a knitting podcast, but I do have some crochet and sometimes I might have some other things, but not this week. I feel a little bit rusty and out of practice. It's only been sort of, when did I last do it? February, March? Oh, it's been 3 months, so I'm a little bit out of practice. But yeah, hello and welcome. I have a few things to share with you today, but hopefully you're all doing well. Hopefully life is treating you well. It's a bit grey and dim here today, but sometimes that makes the best light. And it's going to rain later. I mean, it's warm, but it's going to rain, and my husband's just taken the girls out, so hopefully they're not going to get too wet wherever they go. What else? There may be some cutting and stuff today because I feel really like stuttery and starty, so I may have to cut out the bits where I'm just like blah, 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 blah. Did anybody watch Eurovision Song Contest last night? I did, and cannot believe that we came second. So exciting, like Europe love us again, it's wonderful. Or Europe love Sam. The song was okay, but yeah, so that was quite exciting to come second, and well done to Ukraine for coming first. Did actually really like the song. So yeah, it was just really nice to see the support from the rest of Europe. Yeah, so it was really nice to see. I'm not particularly eloquent with words, but it was quite emotional, but it was really nice. Yeah. So let's jump in because I'm waffling already. I'd like to say a big thank you to everyone that took part in the spring equinox cow that I hosted in March with my friend Cherie from Ollie and Bella. We had loads of lovely entries, so that was really exciting, and hopefully we'll be back again next year. And yeah, just a really simple sort of, I washed my hair this morning, and when it dries, it kind of does its own thing, and I'll straighten it later once it's dry. But so sorry if I play with my hair today. This bit here appears to want to stick out. I'm going to try and tuck it under. And also, it was funny, I was setting up the podcast and my husband was sat over there and he was like, "Are you not going to straighten the pictures behind you before you start?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" "No." And now I'm looking at it like, I'm like, oh, they're a little bit wonky, aren't they? So I might try and straighten those later if I can remember. But I was saying spring equinox. I've just realised I forgot my drink. 2 seconds, I'm going to go and get my drink. It's not exciting, it's just squash. I have it really weak. But yeah, so I'm going to be talking. I need a bit of drink. I was saying, yes, spring equinox. Yes, just a really basic, it was just knit a sock for the month of March when the spring equinox is. So yeah, we'll be back again next year. Okay, I have some finished objects, lots of whips, a complete and utter disaster to show you, and some future knitting and a couple of acquisitions. So it's a full podcast today. How exciting. And my hair is still sticking out. So let's start with my first finished object, which is I've got stuff written down So if I'm looking down here, it's because I'm looking at my notes, because if I didn't do notes, this would be even worse than it already is. So my first finished object, which I had not cast on in the last episode, is the Oslo hat by Petit Knit. And here it is. Oh, it's so beautiful. That colour is, it's probably a bit darker in real life. It's coming out quite light. But this is, the yarn is Figgy by Bird Street Yarn. Bird Street UK, I think it's Bird Street Yarn. Yeah, so this is Figgy, which is a really glorious sort of dark purple. I'm trying to see if that's a probably better representation of the real colour. It's like a really dark purple. But yeah, this is the Oslo hat by Petit Knit. You sort of knit it. It's got a double brim, which you then fold over to make like a triple brim, and then sort of the decreases on the top. I put all the details with, I can't remember what needles and things I used, but I generally put all the details on my project page on Ravelry. Oh, where can you find me? You can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Heartmoor. So it's the same name as my YouTube. So yeah, if you want to come and, all my projects are listed on Ravelry, and come on, give me a follow or a check out on Instagram. That would be great. So yes, let me put it on. Got wet hair, and I've got a long, my fringe needs cutting. Hang on, I can't see. Okay, I still can't see. That's better. Yeah, it's a really, really lovely fit. And I mean, I did only sort of finish it sort of end of February, so the colder weather was coming to an end, but I have been able to wear it a couple of times. And I cannot wait. Cannot wait for winter to wear this again. Really, really love it. It's a really lovely fit. So I'm definitely going to be making more of these as well. Love that. Sorry, I'll sort this out before it dries into some random fluffness. Yes, so really, really love the Oslo hat. I knitted it to pattern, didn't change anything. Wouldn't do anything different again. And I will definitely be knitting more of these. And coincidentally enough, it took one skein of yarn. So I thought that I would need, I think I knitted the medium size. Can't remember. And I think it said you'd need just over a skein. So I bought 2 skeins, but I only used one. And I didn't weigh the skein, so it could have been that it was just over 100. I know quite often skeins are like 105, 100, and sometimes even up to 110. And I didn't have literally, it was yarn chicken, but I did it in 1 skein. So I'm of DK yarn, I should say. So this is DK. So 1 skein of DK yarn knitted this hat. I was super pleased. I have another whole skein left to knit. Maybe a matching cowl. I don't know if I like matchy, or if I like, I don't know. What do you think? Is matchy good? Or do you prefer mixing it up a bit? I don't know. Anyway, really like that. One of my favourite knits so far. Pop that down there. I'm going to tick it off my list as well. Tick. So I have a pair of socks to show you. Oh, actually, I did do some socks for Mother's Day. So I did a pair for my mum and I did a pair for my mother-in-law. I've already gifted them because Mother's Day was in March. But I will put a photo in there. I just lean over here slightly. I'll put a photo up there. And I knitted them both. They're both DK socks. And I used the Crazy Sock Lady sort of DK vanilla pattern. Her numbers work really well for me. I did one with the 48 stitch, and I did one in the, I think it's 56, 54, I can't remember. So I did one in the medium size, one in the larger size. And I used the yarn by Woolly Mama. So that's her card. And the 2 colours I used, so the pinky one is called June Bug, and it was just a DK, your standard sort of bits and bobs. And the orangier one was called Zesty, and that's the details for that. Sorry if my hand's sort of shaking. I'll try and hold it still for you. And I love woolly mummy yarns. They're so bright, so colourful, really, really fun for socks. So, and you know, generally, or regardless of what people wear, they'll wear anything on their feet. So you can't go wrong with a really bright and colourful sock. So that was those. And then I finished, so I had started these were a work in progress in my last podcast, and these are the socks I bought. I bought the yarn at Stitch Fest, which in November, the yarn festival I went to, Stitch Fest Southwest. And again, these are DK, Crazy Sock Lady. Let me get my thing. Crazy Sock Lady DK pattern, cast on the 48 stitches. There are two just to show you. But I've just popped one on here. Really, really love this yarn. This yarn is Siobhan Crafts. That's her label. And this colourway is called Plum Pudding. It's a DK and it's 75/25. Really, I forgot I finished these, and I went to my podcast basket where I just shove things in so I don't forget, and found them in there and thought, oh, I could have been wearing these. And I haven't been. But it's the colours have come out really lovely. I really like how it's knitted up. So I have another pair of DK socks. They are my favourite, partially because they knit up really quickly and I'm quite impatient. But also they're just so thick and cozy and cuddly, and I like DK socks. So I have another pair to add to my pile. So that was those finished, and I do knit. So all my DK socks I knit on 3.5mm DPNs. I have 48 stitches. Again, it's all. I think it's all on my Ravelry page. There's definitely a picture on there. And I normally put the needle size on in case I forget. But so that's those. What else? So I've done those. I've done those. Oh yes, these. So I started these about a year and a half ago. And these are the My Cup of Tea mitts by Fluffy Fibres. And I'd finished one and I just had like 2/3 of one to go, and they were just sat there, and I thought, you know what, I'm just trying to get things off my needles. I'm going to get these finished. I will put them on, but these, they're the My Cup of Tea mitts by Fluffy Fibres. I did do an extra pattern repeat because I wanted them a little bit longer. So I think normally they would finish sort of about here. But I did an extra pattern repeat. And the yarn is, it's Blue Fern Yarns, so Shannon at Blue Fern Yarns, and it's called Acer. I don't think she's currently stocking that colour, but I really love it. It's such a beautiful pink. I have two. Let me put them on to show you. Just roll my sleeves up. I haven't had a chance to wear these yet because I didn't finish them till maybe March sometime. And it was just that little bit too, it was too warm to wear them. So I haven't worn them out yet. So I am excited for autumn. But here they are. Really, how's that all twisted? I can't work back to front. So there you go. So it's got this beautiful rib at the bottom, and then it's got this lovely sort of fan pattern. It's just plain stockinette on the other side. It's got this beautiful fan pattern all the way up to the hand, and then there's the rib there, and then the thumb is just a rib as well when you do that. So these are the, I'll turn them around so they show, the My Cup of Tea mitts, and that colourway, Shannon, if you're watching, love this Acer colourway. Bring it back. Really, really nice. So I finished those. Again, details I think are on my Ravelry page. But it's just so good to get something off the needles. It's a long-term whip, and it was just silly, just sat there. It's because they required concentration, because I mean, the pattern repeats quite straightforward, but you do sort of, you know, you need to look at the pattern every sort of 4 or 5 rows. And I just couldn't be bothered to concentrate. So I just thought, no, so put yourself in gear, get it done, they're done. Something else off the list. So the next thing is the disaster. Well, I'm gonna ask your opinion. So you might remember I was knitting a litmus cowl in some of the yarns from my Beehive yarn advent calendar from last year. I finished it. So it's in all the rust colours. So these aren't my colours. This is going to be a Christmas gift for someone next year, but I just wanted to get it done. Sorry, it's a bit creased. It's been in the naughty corner. So it's very creased. And it's all in these, it's just beautiful. It really is beautiful. They're not my colours at all, but it is beautiful. And looks great, doesn't it? Ignore the creasedness of it. It looks fine. It's wearable. Look, let me show you. Let me put it on. Look. Sort of sits. It sits there. So it's not right up in your neck, but it, you know, if you had a coat on, it would bunch up nice. What's the problem, you're thinking? What's the problem? Look at those colours. I'm trying not to show you the problem while taking it off. The problem is, here we go. I went to Kitchener it together, and you know, it's a fair amount of stitches to do Kitchener, and got all the way round to the last few stitches and realised it was twisted. I was Kitchenering the same sides together instead of the opposite sides. So when I got to the last few stitches, the whole thing was twisted instead of a beautiful straight line. It was twisted. So I was like, oh dear. I can't be bothered. No, not can't be bothered. I'm not very confident at unpicking. And I was like, I don't want to unpick this and ruin it. I could probably put, but anyway, I'll talk about that in a minute. I didn't want to unpick it. So I thought, how can I resolve this situation? So let's just show you. Yeah. So I made like this weird knot thing in the middle. So I basically just got the yarn, ended up half of it sort of inside. So I've had to tuck, you can see, I've had to tuck this sort of inside where it all got twisted. And then I just, in my anger that it all went wrong, I just got the needle and I just went backwards and forwards, side to side, tighten it up, as much as possible to make it this really tight little knot. And so I now have, and it looks okay. Like you've got this beautiful flat side and then you've got this side. It's almost like a giant headband. And it, you know, that looks, it's not perfectly neat. I could probably tidy that up a little bit. I might even knit a little strip and sew around that to sort of hide it. So the problem is, originally this was going to fit around your neck twice. It was the perfect length to go once, twice, and now I feel that it's a little bit long. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Is it too long? Would you like a cowl like this? Because this is a Christmas gift for somebody. So, you know, you're gonna cook it up, you're gonna do it for somebody else, right? So I don't know if it's the right size or whether that's workable. I could try and undo all my mess and put some sort of lifeline in and pick up some stitches and make it work, but I just don't like this anymore. I don't want to spend any more time on it. It's not my friend. So I think I'm just gonna leave it like this and maybe, like I said, knit a strip of something in a similar colour and just tie it around there. Do you think that's acceptable? Do you think the person who I'm giving it to who isn't a knitter is going to go, that's a weird thing, how am I supposed to wear that? Or do you think they're going to like it? I could make it even shorter, couldn't I? And I could just put lifelines in sort of here and here, and then Kitchener that together and make it round your neck once. What do you think? Do I leave it or do I try and fix it? I did debate whether or not to show you this because like we normally just all show our perfect work, don't we? And we don't show where we've completely gone wrong and mucked things up. So yeah, what do you think? Let me know. Fix or leave. For now, I'm going to leave it and put it back in the podcast box. You know, yeah, and try not to look at it. So there is that. So those are my finished objects. Not too many, but I have got quite a few whips and garment whips. Exciting. So let's move on to the works in progress. So my first one is my No Frills by Petit Knits. Everybody's knitting this. And I jumped on the bandwagon because I want some, I don't own any knitted, I do own knitted garments. I finished 2. That's a lie. I want more knitted garments and I want some basic staples in my wardrobe. So for anyone that doesn't know, I've got a black and white one, but it's not very nice. So I'll put a picture here. This is the No Frills by Petit Knit. It's a really, really lovely, simple pattern. It's a raglan knitted top down. And here I'm so close to being finished. So here is that the back? That's the back. Let's turn it around. So I'm so close to being finished. So looks enormous. I think I'm knitting the fourth size. Hang on a minute, I've got it down here. Oh, I can't reach. I am knitting the 1, 2, 3, yeah, the 4th size, the large size. So, you know, it's not enormous, but it looks enormous, but it is oversized. And that's just what I wanted, a big cozy sweater. So here it is. So far, I've got 1 sleeve finished, done the hem, and I am just on the 2nd sleeve. It's really beautiful. It fits lovely. I've tried it on. So yeah, you've got the hem with some short rows in the back. Then you knit down, knit. Then I've got a nice long rib at the bottom. You've got this beautiful raglan. I don't know if I've done the raglan right. When I look at everybody else's, like mine, the holes either side seem quite big on mine. I mean, I followed the instructions for make one left and make one right, but maybe it looks all right. Nice deep raglan. Then I didn't do any decreases on the arms. That's probably the only adjustment I've made. I didn't want any, I like a nice big sleeve, so I knitted the sleeve straight and then did a rapid decrease at the end, and then did a nice long cuff, the nice stretchy bind off, and yes, so I love it. This is my colour. It's purple, nice dark purple, and I'm using first time I've knitted on small circulars actually for a sleeve. Hurts my hands a little bit, but it's not too bad. It's just having to twist the jump around, isn't it? I should have knitted the sleeves earlier. And it's also the first time, so these are the Chalgu red Chalgu needles. They're the ones that are slightly bent here. So the needle's straight, but you've got like a bent bit. But it's a really smooth join. I really like the join between the cord and the needle. And they're really nice to knit with. So it's the first time I've ever used Chalgus, and I really like those. The yarn, let's talk about the yarn. So it is, I've written it down as well, but I'm using a woolly knit cone in foxglove purple. This is 4-ply, 100% British wool. It's got a lovely halo to it. Can you see? You can just about see that. Really, really beautiful sort of purple colour. Love that. And I'm holding it double with, it's over here, Drops Kid Silk mohair. And this is in the colour dark purple. That is an accurate reflection of the colour. That's much too pink. That's an accurate reflection. It is like a really dark purple. It's soft, but not, it's got like an edge. It reminds me of fiberglass. Not that fiberglass is soft. It's soft with an edge. But it's the first time I've used it and I really like it, but I've definitely got some other mohairs on my list to try next time. Yeah, that's the colour there, that sort of dark purple. And so these two together, let's try and put this seems to be the best light over here. These two together is producing this really, really beautiful fluffy purple no frills sweater. And I'm so excited to have it finished. I think it's very light, and I think it's going to be lovely to wear in the summer. I know it's a winter jumper, but in the summer when you go to the beach and it's a cold evening and you just want to pop a jumper on, and because it's quite oversized, it's just going to be really lovely to just wear down the beach. And I've done the sleeves, so they sort of come to there on me. I really like a long sleeve. So, and because it's got small cuff and a really sudden decrease, I can't remember, I said it earlier, it's when I roll it up it stays, so it's not gonna sort of flop back down, so I can have it right down here or I can have it up here and it will stay. So I like that. But yeah, the only change I made is to not do the decreases on the sleeves, and that is nearly finished, so I'm hoping to get that done in the next week hopefully, and then I can start wearing it. But that is my no frills. Next, I've got to move stuff everywhere. It's not in a project bag because of the cone. Things just sort of, I've got like a corner on the floor by the couch where I just pile everything that I'm working on. My next whip is one I talked about in my last podcast, and it is, let me just tick that off. So this is the Marble Mount by Locateli. I've got a picture here. It's not in colour, but it's a really beautiful top. It's like it's very fitted, which I like the design of, and it's got this beautiful pattern going around the top. But I really like the sort of slim fitted nature of it. Yeah, it's a really, really beautiful pattern. See if I can find the name for you. I think there's another picture somewhere where it's got it written on. Oh, there we go. That's probably a better one. Yeah. So you can see it's the Marble Mount by Locateli. Really, really beautiful. And just pop that back in the bag. Oh, this is in a knee-dyed project bag. It's just a basic project bag from Hobbycraft, which is our sort of hobby craft store in the UK. It's really cheap for a basic bag, and then I just sort of did a dye job on it. So, and for this, I am using, I'm quite excited by this. I am using, was there a label in here? There's a label. I am using Linen Quill. Here it is. By Pearl Soho. It's like oh, it's so beautiful. I love this yarn. There is Linen Quill by Pearl Soho, and this is in chestnut red, and it is a, yeah, so it's 50% fine Highland wool, 35% alpaca and 15% linen. I'm sure you've all heard of Linen Quill because everyone's using it for the half and half. I did buy this with the intention of using it for a half and half, but changed my mind and decided to knit this top in it instead. So here I am so far. I have finished the yoke, so I'm knitting this on 3.5mm needles. I can't read that because it's in like a really, yeah, so I'm knitting this on 3.5 circular needles. And here, I'm just going to come back. Here it is so far. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's got this really lovely rounded collar. You can see the yoke. It's really, really beautiful. It's just like little leaves. Little leaves. No, it's not like leaves. I don't know how you'd... Oh, that isn't very good. You can see it better like that. Really beautiful pattern. And it goes all the way around the front and the back. So obviously I've split for the sleeves and I'm knitting straight on the body now. This is so lightweight and so soft. It doesn't feel woolly at all, and I think that's because there's 35% alpaca in here. And obviously you can see the linen, like the white flecks all the way through. It's really, really beautiful. This isn't normally the sort of colour red I would go for. I would normally go for a bluier red. This is definitely an orange red. I'm trying to see if the actual colour, that's probably, yeah, fair reflection of the colour over this side. But it's a really beautiful, it is going to be quite fitted. It's a really beautiful yoke. So I'm just knitting down on the body. When I finish this skein, I'm nearly finished on this skein. I think I'm going to do the sleeves and then come back and finish the body. I haven't made any adjustments to it so far. I really recommend this pattern though. I've really enjoyed knitting the yoke, and it's just been so lovely going round and round and round. Yeah, really enjoyed it. There's some short row shaping in the back, I think. Maybe. I can't remember actually. Yeah, you can just, it's really, really pretty. And this is going to look so good with a pair of like jeans, or denim skirt or something like that in the winter. Really, really love this. So I can't wait for that to be finished. But it's sort of on hold at the moment because I want to finish my no frills. But then this is going to be next, and this is linen quill is a 4-ply, so it's taking forever to knit. So, but it's a really enjoyable knit, so loving that. So that's the Marble Mount by Locateli in linen quill. Really, really love that. I didn't know what linen quill would be like for a top, but it's really, really beautiful. So super pleased with that one. Next one is, so this is almost finished. I just haven't sewn in the ends or decided on a border or blocked it. So I'm calling it a whip at the moment. So this is the Unicorn Parallelograms wrap by Stephen West. Stephen West is not normally one of my go-to designers. It's a little bit out there for me. I don't like anything that's too much, too different, too many different parts to something. I like much more simple designs. Generally one colour or a few colours, but quite muted as well. But I quite like the look of this pattern, and last year I collected a few, or bought a few of the monthly minis boxes from Loom Wool, from Jess at Loom Wool, and they're really beautiful muted colours, and I thought it would look really, really nice in the Unicorn Parallelograms. So I have finished it. I'll show you now. So I finished it. So you start off, every shape is like a parallelogram, so you can see there's a point on that end, and then you knit, and then it sort of comes in at this end. So it ends up creating this sort of, you get, and on here you sort of decrease, you get like a staggered effect. So on this side it's sort of straight, as it were, but this side has got like this staggered effect, if you can sort of see that. Anyway, let me just show you through all the colours. I mean, they're not named colours, so I will just slowly show you through. So it starts off here, and it sort of goes at this angle. And it's really, this is my favourite section, the blues and the pinks. It sort of goes through the blues, the pinks, and then we're back into some browns and greens, and it's really, really long. It's so long. And then it finishes up on this sort of section down here. I haven't sewn in any of the ends. As you can see, there are hundreds and hundreds of ends. Let me just sort of, so it's huge, like that's it, sort of. I can't even fit it on halfways. Let me try and fit it on quarter way. So that's it folded in 4. So if I put this around my neck, I can wrap it round. God, what am I doing? Yeah, that's it. So I can wrap it around my neck more than once. I can't really do much with this at the moment. And then I've still got these nice long bits to sort of tie. And it's, yeah, it's really, really lovely. It's an absolutely perfect project for Advent minis, or any minis. But it's a perfect project for Advent or any kind of mini. I love the way that it just sort of, the colours just blend, particularly with these colours from Loom Wool. I mean, the colours are stunning. Look, I just can't show, I can't get the whole thing in camera. But it's so beautiful. And the pattern is, I really, really like this pattern, and I would 100% knit it again. It's beautiful. And you wouldn't think that, you know, like a Stephen West pattern could look so subtle and classy and classic. That came across really awful, and I didn't mean it to be. But it's just so, I love it. If I was to knit this again, because I'm quite a tight knitter, I would probably make my sections, because it's really, really narrow, I would probably make my sections wider. So just ever so slightly wider. But having said that, this is not blocked. So you see that now, you see that part there. This is my favorite section. If I show you that part there, and then if I, you know, if I block, I don't know how to show you. If I put that there, I don't know how to show you. Put this there like that. Oh, no, I can't show you. But in theory, you know, if I block that, I can almost double what you see there to block when I block it. So I am going to aggressively block this. In his pattern, he puts a crochet border around the edge in a single colour, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I really, really like, I like the unfiltered edge. It's back to front. I mean, it is just garter stitch, but you can see the difference. So this side, the colour changes are seamless, and on this side you can see the colour changes. But yeah, so I don't think I'm going to put a border on it. I'm going to sew in the ends, block it, cut off the ends, and then it should be finished. But the ends are what are stopping me, and it's going to take, I'm going to have to block it in like 3 parts, because I just don't have anything, yeah, it's so big. I just don't have anything long enough to block it on. So it's super long. Yeah, look, I can wrap that around my neck like 4 times. Love it. Absolutely love it. And these colours from Loom Wool are stunning. The tonals are just beautiful and subtle, and they just all go well together, every single one. Sorry, take that off my head. So I'm really, really happy with this. It's probably going to sit in this state for a little while while I finish off some other projects. But when I get round to it, I will be sewing in the ends and blocking it. So it probably won't be finished for a little while, because I won't be wearing it till autumn, so there's no rush. But I highly recommend this pattern for minis, and it would look incredible with an advent. It really, really would. So just rolling that up, and yeah, the beautifulness that is the unicorn parallelogram wrap. Love it. So next work in progress is my Blue Fern Yarns Palette Club blanket. So Shannon at Blue Fern Yarns is doing a monthly club. She's calling it her Palette Club, where she basically shows an image. She picks an image for the month, and then she dyes 5 minis to represent sort of the colours that she sees in the image. I'm buying the DK version, and I've got January's to May's here. So if you haven't, you should have had May's by now. I've ordered June's. They were sent out quite a while ago, so you should have had May's. But if you haven't, if you're, you know, live further afield, you're having problems with the post, and you don't want to see it, although Shannon has posted a spoiler on Instagram now, so it is sort of in the open wide world. But if you don't want to see it, look away. But I am crocheting a, let me show you the bag it's in. It's going to have to go into a bigger bag because this doesn't fit anymore. But this is by Bertie and Poppet. And this was a present from my friend Cherie. It's just lots of like flasks and teapots and stuff, and just a little drawstring bag. But this project has now outgrown it. So this is the palette clubs. So here's Blue Fern Yarns, that's her label. And this one is the May one. So this is the May palette set, and I am getting it in DK. And it's a 75-25 mix. And I am crocheting this with my Clover 4.5 mil, size 7, I think that says. Yep, size 7, 4.5. My Clover hooks. I love these hooks. Really ergonomic, and I like that this is like matte, not shiny. It's like the actual hook is matte, and I prefer working with that. And I am just designing my own pattern. So this is crochet moss stitch, and I'm making panels out of each month, and eventually I'm going to sort of put them into a blanket form. So I will show you the months so far. So this is January's. It does look a bit wider on this end because I hadn't crocheted for ages, and then when I cast on, it was like, wow, that's so much wider than this end, but it'll block fine. So this is January's colours, really, really beautiful. Then we've got February's, again, absolutely stunning. March's, this is my favourite so far. Really, I love these two here, these two colours together. So beautiful. But this is March's, so it's really bright and colourful. This one is April's, so it's sort of the purples and the blues. Really, really pretty. And then this one is May's, very sort of spring-like, greens, purples and blues. And all together, sort of these are 1, 2, where are we? Where's the second one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can't see that in the slightest. You can just about see it. It almost reminds me of like carpet samples, you know, when you go into the carpet shop and you pick up the samples to look through. That's what this is at the moment. So yeah, these are my sort of panels so far, and I haven't quite decided the format of the blanket, whether I'm just going to literally do like 6 panels across the bottom and 6 across the top and crochet them together, or whether I'm going to sort of turn some of them on their side and try and create like a square type thing, or whether I'm going to mix them up as well, whether I'm going to keep them like January to December, or whether I'm just going to mix them up and see how they fit. I haven't decided. Lots of options, but obviously it won't be finished until December, but I'm really, really enjoying crocheting on that. So every time, the June one should come through soon, and when the June ones comes through, I will add them to my, just rolling this one up, look at that, like, it's lovely. Yeah, when the June one comes through, I will add it, so I'll have 6, and then, yeah, so I might write the pattern up for this blanket when I've finished it, if anyone might be interested in that long term. But of course I don't even know what the blanket's going to look like yet, so who knows. So that's my crochet blanket, which I'm loving, and the colours are really, really beautiful. I know she's released some of these into full skeins because they've been so popular in the minis. Okay, so that's that one. I've got a pair of socks somewhere. Oh, here they are. So for the Spring Equisocks cowl, Beki Norman designs, so Bexy Norms on Instagram, designed the Bloom and Grow socks for us, for me and Cherie, for the Spring Equisocks. I didn't get them finished because I was doing my Mother's Day socks, So here they are, really beautiful pattern. There we go, by Becky Norman, Bloom and Grow Socks. So she designed this pattern for our Spring Equinox cowl. I say I didn't get them finished because I decided to do socks for Mother's Day, and that sort of took over. So although I did knit 2 pairs of socks in March, I didn't get these ones finished. But I have finished the first sock, and I have done the cuff on the second. And then I stopped because I got a jumper kick. I've slightly done the pattern slightly differently, so I will show you. And the yarn I'm using, let's find that. This is, first of all, I should say, this is in my bag by Moo and Mouse, the lovely Emma. This is her card. So pretty. Oh, she's so beautiful. I love this bag. And the yarn I'm using is, no, that's completely different yarn. Okay, I don't have the label for this one in here, which is annoying. But this is Woolly Mammoth Yarns. It's their new sock yarn that she released late last year, earlier this year maybe, late last year. It's her sock yarn. It's 100% wool. There's no superwash or nylon in it. It's got a really waxy feel to it. So I guess that's the spinning oils maybe still on it. No, it smells like lavender because it's been in my bag and I've got a lavender sachet, so I can't tell you what it smells like. But it's definitely quite waxy to work with. So I'm pretty sure that when I wash this, it's gonna bloom quite nicely, which will make for really, really cozy socks. But I really, really love this. I can't find the label for it. And so this is the sock that I finished. Again, it's not for 100% wool, it's not harsh or anything, and it's so warm when you put it on. But I think when I wash it, it will bloom really, really nicely. So let me turn it round. So I decided to just do the pattern. So the pattern has lace down the front and lace down the back. I didn't do the lace down the back, and the pattern goes all the way down to the foot, and I decided to stop. I know it looks silly on the sock, but it doesn't look silly on, because obviously I decided to stop at the ankle. So it's a really, really beautiful pattern. Lovely lace pattern there. It looks great in this yarn, actually. It looks really, really good in this yarn. I've done a 2x2 rib, done this beautiful pattern. I've stopped at the ankle, then I've done a slip stitch, heel flap and gusset, and gone down. And the reason I've let me turn it back round. The reason I've stopped at the ankle is twofold, really. One, I just wanted to get them finished, and I just needed to stop. And it does that. I wish I'd found a way maybe of ending it a bit more elegantly, but when it's on your foot, there's a natural crease here, so you just don't see it. And when I'm wearing it with like boots or something, again, you just see the pattern. So I'm not worried about how it looks. So partly I don't like, when I'm wearing boots and things, I don't like the feel of lace on the sort of front of so this I think would have bothered me inside my boots if I had it on my foot. So I just wanted to keep it up here. But also I'm having a lot of problems with holes in my socks. So this is the first time I've knitted with a non-superwash, non-nylon sort of proper sock yarn, wool sock yarn. And I really want to know how it wears without any sort of pattern being involved. So I just wanted to keep the bottom half of the sock really simple. So when I wear these in the winter, I can really find out how they're going to wear. I'm hoping they're going to felt. So it's going to bloom when I wash it. And then I'm hoping it's going to felt quite a bit, which will help it not have holes. It will help sort of knit it together a bit better. And if that's the case and I find this works for me, then I will have to just make sure I buy non-superwash, non-nylon socks moving forward. But really love this, really love the pattern. I would knit them again. I would knit them all the way down. But just for this particular pair, I wanted to stop. So yeah, really love those Bloom and Grow socks by Becky Norman. I have one more work in progress to show you. Check me out. I love this. I love having all these whips. So I was
so you might have heard of Laura Penrose, whose podcast is The Knitting Pickle, and she released the Soufflé, which recently, which has been a huge hit, and it's a mohair sort of fitted mohair short sleeve top with like a big ruffle right around the front. It's absolutely stunning. I haven't knitted it yet. But it is on my list of things to do. My daughter wants one, so I need to get some more. I'm on a knitting ban at the moment, and I don't have enough. I'm not a knitting buying, a yarn, that's the word I'm looking for. I'm on a yarn buying ban at the moment, and I don't have enough mohair to do one. So once I am released from my ban, I will be buying some to knit the souffle. Anyway, she also is releasing the Petit Soufflé, which is for children, a non-mohair version, long-sleeved sort of winter version of the soufflé for children. And I was selected to test knit, so I was super excited. Thank you, Laura. And yeah, so if I show you, let me just fold up the bottom bit. So here it is. So this is the Petit Soufflé, and that's what it looks like. Really, really beautiful. I am test knitting the size 9 to 10 because my daughter's 9 in July, so I thought it'd be perfect for her. And I am using, let me show you the yarn. So I'm using Woolly Knit Cone. It hasn't got a label in, so I don't know what the colour's called. It's 4 ply. I'm holding it double because the pattern calls for DK, so I'm holding this double. It's a 4 ply 100% British wool, and it's this really beautiful like multicoloured, can you see it's like got blues and purples and sort of shades of pink in it. It reminds me of oil, so you know, like an oil slick, when you spill oil in the petrol station on the floor, and it creates this beautiful sort of multicoloured, multifaceted colour. So really, really love that. So I'm knitting it in that, and this is where I'm at so far. Look at this. So I've still got to do the I-cord around the collar. So this is the collar. There's some short rows in there. Is there short rows? Oh, do you know when you've just knitted a pattern and you can't remember? Did I do short rows? Blah, 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 blah. No, there's no short rows. I can't remember. So yeah, start again. But there is there's like a little slit at the back, so that's where I'll be putting a little button on, so it'll do up with a pretty little button. I still need to do the I-cord edging on the top. So I've split for the sleeves. I've knitted the body, which has this really beautiful folded hem, which I hadn't done before. Fiddly, but quite simple and really effective. So yeah, really love the look of that folded hem. And I have done the ruffle, and I held the ruffle with one strand of the purple and one strand of a bright pink from Beehive Yarns. I can't remember the name of it, but it's created this sort of mild, really, really beautiful mild colour, which is so effective, like that bright pink, just like right across the chest. So yeah, I just need to do the arms and the collar, and that test knit will be finished. So that's going to be released, I think the test knit ends beginning of June, so I'm sure it'll be released shortly afterwards. But yes, really, really enjoying that, and it's a really well written pattern, and it's really nice to knit, and it's going to be like a little girl's dream, isn't it? I know some of the other testers have knit their ruffle in mohair, and some of them have used just the same colour as the knit jumper, but I wanted to just create this really nice mild effect. So yeah, really loving that. I don't want to say too much more on it because obviously it's a test knit and it's not released yet, but so that is my last work in progress. Wow, we're coming up for an hour. So I have a few acquisitions to show you. If that's not your jam, then thank you very much for watching. It's been a while, but I'm really grateful for all those subscribers that have stayed with me. If you're new, it would be lovely if you could like and subscribe. I am so close to 500. I've been hovering at the late 400s for like months and months and months, and it would be lovely to get to 500 followers. So if you are watching this for the first time, it'd be great if you could like and subscribe. But yeah, so I'm just going to talk about some acquisitions now, and then just a little bit of chat, if I can think of anything that's happened in my life. I don't have many acquisitions. So I have this lovely bag that I saw on Etsy. Yeah, Etsy. I haven't used it yet actually, because I forgot it was in my podcast bag. And it is by Emma Ball. There we go, Emma Ball. And it's called Sheep in Sweaters. And this is perfect, like hat, cowl. Probably get 2 pairs of socks in there. So I really love that project bag. And it's just a simple, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's just it's called the lining. The zip's called the lining. That's just what you want, isn't it? You're showing some of the brand new bag. There we go. And it's got this beautiful like knitted fabric inside. It just, yeah, really simple, but. So that caught my eye, so I bought that for myself. And then the only other acquisition I have is Shannon at Blue Fern Yarns was doing a some mystery bundles. So you could say sort of how many you wanted in a mystery bundle, what sort of colour you wanted. I don't think she's doing it at the moment, but she might do it again in the future. But I'm a bit of a sucker for a mystery bundle. So I picked 4 DK, no, not DK, 4 4-ply. They're all oh no, they're not all the same, I lie. Okay, so and I picked sort of purple. So anyway, these are the 4 I've got in my mystery box. So this one is called, so let's show you, this one is called Pink and Purple, One of a Kind. Just really pretty. I think Shannon was just trying to get rid of lots of things she had in her stock, and it's useful. So this is the 75 superwash merino, 25% nylon 4-ply. So that's really pretty. And then this one here is called Amethyst Deceiver. Again, really pretty purple. And these are going to make, it would make a nice fade actually, but they'll probably just go to socks or something like that. And this again is 4-ply, 75/25. Really love that. And then this one here has such a beautiful colour. I love the speckles on this. Look at that. Really, really pretty pinks and purples and speckles. And again, this is just a one-of-a-kind colourway. 4-ply, 75/25. That'll make a really pretty pair of socks. And this one here is so soft. So this is an 80% superwash merino, 20% bamboo. And this is her boo base. And this is called Heacham, which is the home of Norfolk lavender. And this is a 4-ply again. It's 400 meters per 100 grams. It's really soft. I've not knitted with a superwash merino bamboo base before. So yeah, I need to work out what to do with this one. I'm not sure it'd be good on a sock, but it might, yeah, it'd be good for something. So really like that. And that is it. That is all the knitting content. Yeah, thank you for watching. Life in general has been busy. We went away in Easter holidays. We went to Kent, which is the whole other side of the south of England. So Devon's sort of right down in the west, so Kent is right down in the east. And we went with some friends and stayed in a caravan and explored. We specifically went to explore sort of like the castles and things. So we went to Leeds Castle, which is fascinated with like Henry VIII. So Henry VIII and Catherine of Aragon both sort of went there before their wedding. And it has beautiful, beautiful grounds. So really enjoyed that. And we went to, the next day we went to Canterbury and did the cathedral. So Canterbury is the home of like the Pilgrims and the Canterbury Tales by Geoffrey Chaucer. And Canterbury Cathedral is stunning, and the town is beautiful as well. And we also went to the Hornby Museum because my husband is a train fanatic. And actually it was quite interesting, all the model trains and railways and things that they had all set up. So we did that. Then we popped into London for a day and did the Natural History Museum. My little girls had never been. I used to go all the time as a little girl because my gran lived in London. So whenever I used to go and stay with her, because the museums in London are free, like the Natural History, the Victorian Albert. Lots of museums in London are all free, which is incredible. So we just go there, and we go as a child all the time. So I took the girls, and they were obsessed, utterly obsessed. The blue whale was incredible. Like, it's huge, it's so big. And then there was Guy the gorilla, because there'd been a documentary on In Lockdown of the Natural History Museum behind the scenes, and we'd watch that, so the girls sort of knew what they wanted to find. So really enjoyed that. And then on the last day, we went to my personal favourite. We went to Hever Castle, which was the home of Anne Boleyn, which was Henry VIII's second wife. I'm sure nearly all of you must know the story, you know, Henry VIII and his 6 wives. And Anne Boleyn was the first one to lose her head, and so this was her home, and the history just was just walking somewhere that Henry VIII had been and Anne Boleyn had been, just felt incredible. So that was really exciting. So we did that in the Easter holidays, and we've just been busy with general stuff. My daughter's got TAP exams. They do LAMDA, which is like speech and drama, so they've had exams and practices for that. My husband's, they've got a brownie camp coming up, so my 2 little ones have got a brownie camp coming up, so they're going to be away for 3 nights. So the first time they'll have been away not staying with a family member, so they're going away together. So they're 7 and 8. Yeah, so 3-night brownie camp coming up at the beginning of half term. I'm very excited, very excited that they will not be here. I mean, I'm a wonderful mum, but we all need that break. So I'm sending both my little ones away to brownie camp for 3 nights. So that'll be good. I mean, it's an activity-based camp, so they're staying in like proper buildings, proper beds, and they'll be doing like canoeing, abseiling, zip wires, all that kind of stuff, which they love, so that's good. And then we're going up to Lincolnshire to stay with some friends for some more of half term. So half term is in 2 weeks, 2 more weeks left at work, and then it's half term, so that's exciting. Work has been very busy, so I am literally coming home and reading and knitting to just switch off. It's hard to switch off, isn't it? It's really, knitting is so good for your mental health. It's just, especially if you're doing something that takes, so for me, if I'm doing a mindless project, my mind wanders. Obviously it's mindless. So I prefer to knit something more complicated when I'm finding things that are a bit overwhelming, because I have to focus on the knitting pattern and I can't think of anything else. So that's why I've been sort of all these like jumpers, I had to concentrate on the yolks and things like that, and been finishing things that are patterns. So, but I've been really enjoying it, so that's good. What else? Oh, I do have some future knitting planned. I did write that down actually and totally forgot about it. So I want to knit a cardigan. I haven't got a pattern in mind yet. I do have the Whitmore cardigan, but I think I want something a bit plainer. Just some big fluffy, a big oversized fluffy cozy cardigan, and that can go over everything. So I want to do that soon, so that's ready for autumn. I want to make some vests, like tanks vests. I don't know what the term is. I don't think there is a generic term. Everywhere calls it somewhere different. Thin strappy tops for my daughters for summer. So I've got some yarn upstairs that I can use for that. But I probably need to get cracking on those as soon as I've finished a couple of these whips, so they can wear those in the summer. I'm thinking about doing Crazy Sock Ladies Sock Camp, joining in with that this year, because it's easy to knit some socks. You can knit anything. Yeah, so I'm thinking of joining in with that. If you don't know about it, she did do a YouTube video recently all about sock camp, so head on over and catch that if you're interested. And then just some more basic sweaters. I know it's summer, but I don't really wear knits in summer, so I am all about the winter, autumn and winter knitting, getting it ready for then, because then in the winter it's too late. So I do want to just knit some more basics, and there's so many designs out there, so
I've been watching a lot of Inga from Knitting Traditions and Rebecca from the Crowbear podcast, and they're just like, it's like a conveyor belt of like basic sweaters. So I'm like, that one, that one, that one, that one. They're all on my list. So there's lots of things I want to knit. But yeah, I think that's it. So thank you very much for watching. Really appreciate everyone that tunes in and says hello. I'm going to try and make some little montage for the front of my podcast. I won't have time to do it for this time, but for next time. So I'm going to try and do that, trying to, I don't know, make it a bit more professional, if that's possible. Yeah, thank you very much, and have a really good, I don't know when I'll be back, but have a good few weeks, couple of months, and I will see you again soon. Bye.